Okay, this is a video I wasn't expecting to record or to produce when I first touched down in Las Vegas a few days ago. Before I start, probably need to give you a bit of context. I'm actually filming this on my last day of the ConExpo show. There is another day tomorrow. I won't be here because I'm going to actually take a bit of time out with the family and go and see Las Vegas. But I've been here for the past week effectively. First time I've been back to Vegas in 3 years, and the change in that 3 years has been striking, really striking, and not entirely in a good way. The show itself has been incredible. Everything you'd expect a ConExpo to be. Absolutely fantastic. The equipment, the people at the show, the crowds, the spirit of the show has been everything that you could possibly hope for it to be. But Las Vegas itself, I've always been aware of the fact that Las Vegas is a unique entity. It's not like any city anywhere else in the world. I'm very, very aware of the fact that the whole of the city is built on a lie. You've got the opulence of the Strip, and yet you've got people basically sleeping, according to a New York Times report many years ago, that there are people sleeping in storm drains. Because they can't actually afford to live here. They can afford, they're being paid so poorly in the hotels and restaurants that they basically effectively sleep rough in order to work here. I was aware of that before I arrived, but that has got so much worse. For anybody that's ever been to Las Vegas, you'll know that the Las Vegas Strip is quite hard to navigate. You've got lots and lots of escalators and travelators as you move about the place to get you from one place to another. This time, while we've been here, we have seen people sleeping rough, not even in shelters. They are literally camped on bridges, sleeping literally on the sidewalk as people walk past on their way to multi-billion pound hotels and restaurants. That's pretty tough to deal with. But the one that really did it for me, and the real reason for doing this video, we left the show yesterday after a fantastic day, really upbeat, no qualms or complaints on my part. We'd been in amongst the equipment. Now, bear in mind, you're talking about some of the articulated trucks here, for example, going $800,000, maybe $1 million, or whatever it might be. So you've got the wealth of the industry right here in the showground. You then travel back to the Las Vegas Strip, where the wealth and the opulence is endless, as you would expect, because it is Las Vegas. And between the two, we came across, in a taxi ride, we came across a tent. And there appeared to be a family living in a tent in basically a storm channel, where they don't get a great deal of rain here, but when it does rain, they have these drainage channels that take the water away. And our taxi, or our Uber actually, pulled up alongside one of these tents, literally as we were waiting at a traffic light. And I pointed it out to my son Fred and said, look, that's the other side of Vegas that people don't normally know about. When the car edged forward, it turned out there wasn't just one tent. There were probably 100, 150, maybe even 200 that stretched literally as far as the eye could see down this storm drain channel. So here at the Las Vegas Convention Center, I would guess, I can't even guess, billions of dollars worth of equipment on display here, all vying for business in multi-billion dollar construction, mining, quarrying. A stone's throw away from here, as I look up, I can see the Conrad Hotel and the Encore Hotel by Wynn. You're looking at multi-billion dollar hotels, casinos, resorts. And literally between those hotels and this convention center, there are people sleeping in Las Vegas in a storm drain. Maybe it's my age, maybe it is the fact that I am of advancing years these days. but that sits really, really uncomfortably with me, I have to say. I'd be naive to say that, well, it would be naive to say that I wasn't expecting a bit of that. But in the 3 years, bearing in mind I was here 3 years ago to this very day, for the last Con Expo, it seems to have got so much worse. I already had a slight pang of guilt, I guess, about coming to Con Expo. I spend a lot of my time talking about sustainability and the need to safeguard the environment, and yet I've flown however many thousands of miles on an aircraft to come and look around some diggers. So I already had a few pangs of guilt, I guess. Those pangs of guilt are nothing compared to what I've seen here. And the worrying thing is that I am every bit as guilty as everybody else. I mean, I think the American system is broken in the fact that we are willingly paying tips to people, waiting staff in restaurants and even in takeaways, because they are so poorly paid by their employers. But the very fact that I've travelled to a city where it basically treats its people so poorly that they are sleeping in a storm drain, it's left a bad taste in my mouth. Based on that, would I come back? I'm due back here next year for the Mine Expo show, next September. And as it stands at the moment, as I say, you need to understand the context. It's been a tough show. I've felt every one of my 58 years while I've been doing this show. My feet hurt, my legs hurt, I'm not sleeping particularly well, so maybe there's a degree of that. But as it stands right now on the final Friday of the Con Expo show, I'm starting to wonder whether I will be back for Mine Expo. Obviously, I'd like to come back. I love Vegas. Mine Expo is a fantastic show. The people of America, as always, are incredibly welcoming. But the bit that lurks just below the surface, really, really tough to deal with. So yeah, we'll see how that pans out. As I say, I wasn't planning to make this film. Not even entirely sure if I will ever actually publish it. Which would have made the whole of the last 10 minutes or so completely worthless. But yeah, it's the unseen side, I think. The bit of Con Expo and the bit of Las Vegas that most people don't see, and even if they do see it, they don't talk about it. So, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Back to the show, I guess.